Hi, and welcome to Chapter 1, A First Look at Communication Theory, Launching Your Study of Communication Theory. Here's where we're going. We're going to discuss what is a theory and what does it do, what is communication, how the arrangement of ideas to aid comprehension is expressed in this book, and chapters to enliven theory. So first, what is theory? Theory is a set of systematic, informed hunches about the way things work. Important parts of this definition: it's a set of hunches, there are informed hunches, and there are hunches that are systematic. There are three images of theory to familiarize yourself with. Theories as nets, theories as lenses, and theories as maps. Theories as nets, in other words, we're casting a net to see what we can find about truth or discover about truth. Theories as lenses, in other words, we're going to put on different sets of lenses, i.e. each theory is a different set of lenses, and each theory will reveal different things about the world in which we live. Theories as maps. You can't go somewhere unless you first have it marked on your map. If you don't have a map to get to a place, you can't really get there. And when you do get there, you can't see the things that are there without the language associated with describing those things. So theories as maps can serve as a broader educational metaphor. The more courses you take, the greater your vocabulary. The more vocabulary you assimilate, the more fine-tuned your map is for navigating reality. Those with more detailed maps can avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes and achieve success more readily. So what is the definition of communication as the book defines it? Communication is the relational process of creating and interpreting messages that elicit a response. So messages, like a text. A text is a record of a message that can be analyzed by others. For example, books, films, DVDs, phonographs, or any transcript or recording. Texts are also called artifacts. The creation of messages. A text is usually constructed, invented, planned, crafted, constituted, selected, or adopted by the communicator. The interpretation of messages. Messages do not interpret themselves. Communication is a relational process. It takes place between two or more persons and affects the nature of the connections among those people. Messages that elicit a response. Messages have an effect on the people that receive them. So how's this book arranged? It starts with an overview, moves into the interpersonal communication theories, discusses group and public communication theories, discusses mass communication theories, the cultural context, and ends with integration. One of the things that this book does well is it uses extended examples from life on college campuses, as well as well-known communication events or the conversations of characters in movies, books, or TV shows. It also includes some student accounts of the applications of theories. It includes a section called Questions to Sharpen Your Focus, which I highly recommend for gaining clearer insight into each theory. It has conversations with communication theorists, which offers first-hand interviews with the theorists who came up with the theories that you're studying, as well as a second look. Chapter 2, Talk About Theory. So here's where we're going in Chapter 2. Two communication scholars view a diehard fan. Objective or interpretive, sorting out the labels. Ways of knowing, discovering truth or creating multiple realities. Human nature, determinism or free will. The highest value, is it objectivity or emancipation? The purpose of theory, universal laws or interpretive guides. Objective or interpretive, why is it important? What's the difference between the objectivist and interpretivist viewpoints? Glenn Sparks is a behavioral scientist. He applies a scientific method to describe, predict, and explain recurring forms of human behavior. Marty Medhurst is a rhetorician. He studies ways symbolic forms can be used to identify with people or to persuade them to a certain point of view. It's important to grasp the crucial differences between the objective and interpretive approaches to communication. Glenn Sparks is a behavioral scientist. He conducts experiments. Marty Medhurst is a rhetorician. He works to interpret texts. These two scholars break down the MasterCard Priceless campaign. Adweek argued Peyton Manning is one of the few superstar athletes who shows he can act in his commercials. We've seen this cheerleader for the everyday guy before, but this time he's rooting for the waitress who drops her tray, the latte guy who's burned by escaping steam, the movers who let a piano escape down a hill. In the commercial, he cheers, "That's okay, guys. They're not saying boo, they're saying movers." Take a second and watch this commercial yourself.